at a young age, my dad had taken us out. He used to be a teacher, and he took us to the gym, and we go out and play wiffle ball and take us to this pool and swimming. And he played adult league soccer, and then my brother played. So when I was old enough to play, because we couldn't play until we were like 7 years old. I know it starts a lot younger now. Then that's when I wanted to be like my brother. I started playing soccer. My dad was definitely looking. Not so much that he was pushing for me to get a scholarship like I know a lot of the kids these days are facing, but he definitely, when I was in junior high and high school, was looking for schools for me to get a scholarship. And there definitely wasn't a lot of choices at the time. And but for me, more it was just about playing. I really wanted to play in college. That would have been something that's really important to me. And the scholarships, it was nice because, I mean, Eric, my coach, and Sandy Hill, they worked really hard to get the programs going here, and every year they got a little bit more money for me. So I think by the time I was a senior, I got full tuition. So that was big. A lot of the old players that I play with, we established. At least we were told that we were some of the founders. At least we got a program established and started here, and I'm really happy to see now how big the program is and going. But our style of play when we first started, we were a young team. Back then, I think the only style we played was like a long ball style, and just try to send it down. And I was a dribbler. I liked to go out and just try to beat people and score goals. And the other area that I was good at was free kicks. And so I scored a lot of goals on set plays and things. And so when I played, to me, I just wanted to do the best I could to score and to win. Back then, we didn't expect things. I didn't come in saying, oh, I expect to get the same things as the men. We were really happy just if we were given something. And it wasn't, I think it was because we knew it was a new program. The men's team was already established. They won national championships. It was understandable, all the things that they were getting. I think the first year that we were here, we got the men's hand-me-down uniforms, and I got a practice shirt, and I was just so happy to get this practice shirt. I never had a practice shirt before, and I thought that was the coolest thing. So I was, we used to go into Eric's office and joke a little bit and bring uniform catalogs and say, hey, we want this one next year and stuff, and he'd laugh. And but every year we did. Next year we got new uniforms. The year after that, it was a little bit more than the year before. And by my senior year, we actually got to travel. Like, we got to go on a plane. It was like, oh my gosh, this is the greatest thing. Title IX wasn't something that I even really knew about when I was in school. And and I have to say, things weren't equal to boys, but like I said, I always thought we got what we. I didn't feel we were slighted, I'll say that. But it wasn't until like after, probably even after college and when I was here in the women's national team, when they were like Julie Foudy and Mia Hamm were fighting for equal rights with the men's national team and going on strike. And that's how I started to feel a lot more about the inequities there. The amazing how much the women's national team, all the publicity they do, everything they do, and how much less they get paid than the men's team. And all those things is when I really started to hear about the Title IX and Billie Jean King coming out and talking about it. And so it was a lot afterwards that I said, wow, I didn't realize how much this made a big impact. And would we even have the women's sports today if it wasn't for the Title IX? For me, growing up, it was always soccer and school. Those are the two things that I cared about and focused on. And I think a lot of why I did well in academically was because of the sports. I was very driven in sports, and it made me to be very driven in school. So like in high school, I was a 4.0, and when I got here, I was kind of happy that I got my first B. Then it was like that pressure to have to get a 4.0 was done. But I did very well when I was here still. And I think in the women too, I know the women's soccer team was one of the highest GPAs. So even though we didn't win as many, we were all up on the board when they had all the, I think it was for academics, the grades and everything. And well, for women too, even if you do play professionally in this country, whatever sport, there's not very many sports that you will be able to make a living and have a retirement from too. So it's really important that you have your education and your degree, so you have that to fall back on when you're done. When I went to Norway, I played in a second division team that was trying to go up to first division, and they didn't make it, so I moved up to a first division team called Setsko Kulan. And from there, I had heard about some of the players from USF actually going to Japan to play in the professional league there. And it was, at that time, I think it was the only country that was actually paying players to play professionally. And so when I heard that, I have a brother-in-law who's Japanese, and so he contacted a few of the teams, and I had a couple of tryouts, and I got an offer from one of the teams. Two of the teams actually, and I took one with the first team. It was like, oh my gosh, we're getting paid to play soccer. Something we love to do. It was amazing, And when we got there, I was there with two other Americans. It was hard. We were out in the country somewhere. There wasn't a whole lot to do, but go to practice. We rode our bikes to practice, come back, and maybe go to the mall and everything. But it was still something that we were really proud about doing, but that we were playing professionally. We were actually getting paid. And it was after that they started to recruit. Some of the national team players were coming over there. I know when Brandy Chastain was at the team I was at when. Then later on, they got Tiffany Millibrit and Shanna McMillan to play over there, and you know that I think once you started getting national players going overseas to play, then I think it opened up the doors for a lot of other countries to say, hey, we need to have a better league going too. Every year you still need to go back, I think, and show how important the women's sports are, because you're still going to find in other areas the inequities. You know, I think this a good example is the academy teams. The men's have had the academy club teams for the longest time now. This is the first year that the women are going to have Academy 1 and Academy 2 teams. And, you know, you still see a lot of inequities when it comes to the professional levels, you know, the pay, just the notoriety, and even in high schools and things, football will a lot of times in this country will take precedence over everything. And so I think we do need to be reminded all the time of, you know, there should be, you know, equal rights for both the women and the men in the sports. And you know, and a lot of times, you know, like you said, I think we need to educate the women too, because I didn't know how lucky I was that I got to play soccer all growing up. You know, a lot of kids probably didn't before that. And you know, and it's funny, like if I talk to the women now in college and what the things that they're getting and doing versus what we had and everything, and I think, you know, they would appreciate it too. I know, I think sometimes we just don't realize where we started, and it's amazing to see how far we've come.